before the course, my wife and I were both looking for some sort of Bible study to do, just out of interest, just to grow more in understanding of the Word. And we were sitting in church at the time, and MFL course was advertised, and we both agreed that, hey, this could be that course that we're looking to do, or that study. And it was something that we thought definitely to do, because anything that could improve our marriage would be most welcome. We are the youngest couple in the group, having been married only 3 years. But it's been truly a blessing to be a part of it. Look, during the course, it's been fun, it's been challenging, difficult, frustrating, all sorts of emotions. But for every time it's forced me in particular to look inward and to seek God continually for myself and my marriage. I was reminded of a lot, and I've also learned a lot. Every lesson taught me something new. There were definitely some lessons that stood out more than others. And the lesson that stood out more to me was the one on the power of synergism. It taught me that God had a design for man and women to be complementary to each other, and as a one flesh couple, and that specifically as a man, I have a role to play, and so does my wife. As a woman, she has a role to play in our marriage. As a man, I've come to realize that Jesus' relationship to the church was actually his blueprint for a husband, and his relationship to his wife. I've learned that as a husband, my role, I'm not perfect in it, and I have to continue practicing it daily. And this course has challenged me to do that, because as MFL stands, which is marriage for life, I'd like to be married to this woman for my whole life. So I have to keep practicing my role daily. So I am putting into practice being a good lover, assuring my wife of my love for her and my faithfulness towards her. I'm putting into practice being a consistent provider and making sure that I serve the needs of my wife. I'm putting into practice forgiveness and making sure that regularly that I bring comfort and exaltation and encouragement to my wife too. I'm being challenged to be empathetic and not just sympathetic towards my wife and situations. I'm putting into practice being a good example of God's heart and ensuring that I intercede for my family. Being challenged to put into practice an example of what God's sovereignty looks like. And lastly, for me, this course has reminded me of one simple truth that I believe I lost sight of at the beginning of my marriage, and that truth is simply that my relationship with my wife is the most important relationship in my life, and that deserves the highest priority in my life. So I'm glad I've done this course. There's still a long way to go, but we've got tools now that we believe can help us truly be married for life. I'll hand it over to my wife. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nora. So as Chip just mentioned, there's been 12 weeks of lessons. And actually, the first lesson was a reality check for me. All of the lessons were valuable, but the first one really just hit home. So just looking at your marriage, if you're treating it as a covenant or a contract. I think we did touch on this when we did our premarital counseling, but because we were in the excitement mode of getting married and the dress and everything, I think you just kind of forget everything you learnt. So 3 years down the track now, choosing to do the MFL course, just learning about covenant and contract, the difference, was really good. So basically, in short, contract is very much based on performance. So if Seth treats me a certain way, if he acts right, then I'll treat him right. I'll treat him with respect. Depending on what he does, then I will do what I said I would do on our wedding day. But learning that actually marriage is a covenant. So regardless of his performance, I will still choose to do what I said on our wedding day. And it's such a hard thing, but it's actually so beautiful when you think about it, because that's how God treats us. He's got unconditional love for us, and we get to show that in our marriage. So that's one of the key takeaways, not to go on my feelings so much and actually go with do what's right, love unconditionally. And I guess with the course, I'm quite a private person. I don't really like to share personal things, but being with a group with Amel and Michelle was actually really great, because they were so open and everyone else was open. So it helped me to also share. and also just being in a group with other people that are older than us and have been married for a lot longer than us. It was interesting to hear the things that could come up in the future. And just basically the course just helps to build a foundation so that we can start putting things in place now instead of waiting till down the track. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, it's all good. I know we'll definitely keep working on it. That was a joke. But thank you for listening.